right, so welcome back for those of you who have joined us for session one of From Launch to Loyalty, our marketing masterclass really dedicated to helping you market your career center like a pro. We're so glad that you're here for session two. My name is Nicole Matse. I am the marketing manager at WebScribble, and today we're moving past the launch phase into the part that really drives long-term success. Something that is definitely near and dear to both mine and Josh's heart, and that is adoption and engagement.
Hello, everybody, and I'm Joshua Slyman. I'm Director of Product Strategy here at WebScribble. And I've got a long history in marketing and advertising, as well as in the association community and marketing space, having worked with a few other technology companies in the association marketing space. So really excited to be with you all. We very much enjoy this topic, and both Nicole and I have a tendency to geek out on it. So apologize if if we get a little geeky, but ultimately our goal today is really to give you a few like real practical ways to help build usage, momentum that really lasts within your career center and really ultimately across your digital ecosystem, because that's what we one of the real values we see in the career center is it's strategic ability to impact that whole ecosystem. So this session is dedicated to driving adoption, growing usage, engagement, member value. Also, you can earn one CSAE credit for attending today's session. And there are three total for the three sessions. So we're excited to have you.
Yes, that's right, Josh. After today's session, you'll receive an email confirmation of your attendance today that you can always reference when it comes time for claiming your CAE credit. As always, if you have any questions around that, please feel free to reach out to us. We also have the session number one, which was focusing on pre-launch and launch of your career center. That recording is available. You can see here on this slide, the QR link will bring you to the YouTube channel to catch that recording. So feel free to do that, and let's get into it.
Awesome. So last session we talked a lot about how to sort of generate energy and anticipation around launch using branding and generating internal buy-in. Messaging really always comes into play and will again today. We want to make sure we're sparking curiosity and driving a compelling message and delivering valuable benefits and understanding.
Yeah, exactly. And today is really going about, all about going deeper. To get to our ultimate goal of loyalty, adoption and engagement definitely has to happen first. We like to refer to adoption being all about habit forming, whereas engagement is really about sustaining that value. So if you think about it, think about launch like the starting line. Today's discussion is really all about building your members' daily rhythm. And before we wanted to really get into today's topic, we thought it would be helpful to ask you all where you are at now with your career center. And that really just helps us tailor our examples to see where the majority of you are. So I'm going to go ahead and launch that poll. There is another question on there about whether or not you were able to join us for session one, which focused on the pre-launch and launch of your career center. And we were just curious if you had the chance to join us for that as well. So we'll give you a second here to gather your responses.
Yeah, and no matter your response, really today's tactics really should help you no matter where you are, especially in the planning and re-engagement stages. This all is sort of works across stages and really ties to some degree to messaging and delivering the right value at the right time.
Well said, Josh. And so looking at our results, so it looks like a lot of you are actually in the recently launched phase, or maybe you're in the relaunching phase as well. So hopefully today's topic will definitely resonate well with you all. And in terms of joining our last session, majority of you did not, which is okay, no hard feelings. And like I did drop the session one recording in the chat as well, for you all to tune in on that as well. So thank you so much for participating in the poll. We're trying to make today as engaging as possible. So feel free to kind of chime in with those different polls and discussion prompts that we'll have throughout today's presentation.
So let's talk quickly, and those of you who were on the last session will have seen this before, but talk quickly about the association engagement ecosystem. This is a pretty typical example. I know some of you may have more or less of this within your tech stack, but generally speaking, this represents how most of you deliver member benefits digitally, and so it usually it includes an AMS, right? A website. Behind a login wall, you probably have some additional valuable benefits like a learning management system, or a community space, probably your career center, job board, maybe an events module. And a lot of these tools have opportunities to integrate technically and strategically, which is often even more important. So many have advertising or display space, widgets or feeds to help bring that value across this ecosystem. So mostly just wanted to add this for some perspective. This is sort of the what we'll be talking about in terms of distributing that value across your ecosystem, and then leveraging things like social media, your email marketing communications, things like that, your analytics and understanding to also help deepen that engagement and adoption.
Thanks for sharing that, Josh. I know that's one of Josh's favorite images and really just speaks to the association ecosystem that you are all interacting with on a daily basis. And when we're looking at how to better support our members, and we're really thinking about member value in terms of supporting growth and building retention, we often focus on content or connection. But career support and career security is really what members need the most and what they're really craving from the association, especially in times of transition or uncertainty. And that can really be, echoed across different reports that are garnered through various industry figureheads. But one that actually sticks out recently for us is Smith Buckland's 2025 Unlocking Value for Members report. And there they cited something that we know all too well. 88% of those surveyed are joining their professional association for career growth. So we know that career is something that is top of mind for a lot of your members, no matter what stage of their career they're at. And so that is something that we can definitely deliver value with.
Absolutely. And I think it comes back to this idea of like looking at things a little bit more strategically, because it's really not just a job board, right? What we're talking about is an emotionally connected engagement tool. It's strategic. It allows you to support members when they're in flux, when things are changing. It helps you provide tools for you to help guide and better understand their goals and where they are in their individual journey, which then allows us to better serve our content and our benefits, and adjust our language or our talking points. So it really does become an important piece of driving engagement. It is so emotionally connected. It really ties to personal growth, to caring for yourself and your family, for having a voice and visibility within an industry. So it really becomes an important piece. And when members feel like their career is being supported, especially by with an association, right? They stick around. Career tools aren't just a benefit; they're a reason and a way to retain members, to keep them engaged. Alexei, our CEO, often says, when you find a member a job, you found a member for life. And that really does sort of hold true. And it's an important way to impact an individual's life, the organization, but also the industry.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Josh. And one of our favorite things about the Career Center is that it's always there. It provides personalized support, whether somebody is really just getting started or maybe they're, reskilling and they're trying to search for a new opportunity or they're leveling up their skill set or they're just trying to figure out what's next. The Career Center is a great place and a great source of engagement and support when it comes to your members' careers.
Yeah, especially when you're tying them together with some of these other pieces of your engagement ecosystem.
And that really brings us to our next point about what adoption and engagement is all about in terms of your career center. So think about your own behavior for a second. Why do you keep going back to the same website? It's likely because it really helps you do something. The same is true for your members, and the same is true when you're applying that to your career center.
Right. Yeah, and ultimately, members they're looking for direction and awareness, and the access to intuitive and personalized tools that will help them compete, especially in a changing marketplace, and grow additional skills, and find those certifications and use those as ways um, to level up, as Nicole mentioned, and really deliver on their need to progress, for belonging, for visibility. And I think this is a great opportunity and way for the association to deliver that value via the career center and bringing it into your conversation and the day-to-day value that you deliver. The more we talk about it, the more visible it is. The more places we have to see it, the more important it becomes in a member's thought process. So adoption is really about making sure that members understand how and when to leverage the tools and the value within your career center. So we want to start small. We want to help members achieve early wins, things like maintaining their profile, getting job alerts set up, uploading a resume. We want to get those things out there, so that they can start to see some immediate value, but also so that they get comfortable in the platform and the space. And so providing tools and tips and simple, easy ways to access some of those really early win type calls to action allows you to position the Career Center as a go-to resource, job search, research, and understanding, especially around career specialties, career planning, and access to experts and mentoring.
Yeah, exactly, Josh. And exactly what he's doing there is connecting each tool to a real member outcome, which is really important when you're thinking about the Career Center holistically and your engagement strategy. So these could be, actions like landing a job, earning a promotion, or navigating a career shift, getting that next certification. So let's talk about how we position the Career Center to really drive that adoption home. When we are looking at your overall strategy in terms of adoption messaging, and communicating the value of the Career Center in your marketing efforts, it's really important, especially if members are first learning of your Career Center, they need to know that it's not just job listings. It really is a comprehensive toolkit that's built to support their next move, no matter what that is.
Right, right. The job alerts keeps people up to date and engaged. Profile updates, again, these are quick wins. They help members see immediate value. It builds trust in the platform. It's really getting people to leverage those sort of simple, immediate, visible opportunities starts to build those habits.
Yeah, and that early success really matters. The more confidently that your members are when they start using the tools, the more likely they are going to be to keep coming back. And that really puts an emphasis on why training those members about those tools and resources is key. members need to understand how to really use them effectively to get the most out of the tools.
Exactly. Yeah. Adoption is about teaching. It's about building those habits. We want to provide simple and helpful tools that members can rely on. Make sure they know where they are and what the purpose is from day one. And ultimately, you all are the ones communicating with your members on a regular basis. And so there's certainly things that we can do to help support that, but the relationship is ultimately with you. And so that messaging, that support, right? It is more trusted. It is more effective when it is executed within, again, this sort of ecoscape that you're already executing. And so that's really an important part of driving early adoption.
Yeah. And then when we are looking at engagement, that should really reinforce value, surface relevance, and make Career Center the part of everyday growth. You want to be driving repeat usage by tying the career tools to evolving goals. Things like certification, advancement, or career change is really important. And then you want to take it a step further and really showcase real outcomes and success stories that prove that the Career Center is helping your members grow and succeed. I think that's a very crucial part. I think we all know how powerful social proof is into helping our members build trust and move from just using something maybe as a one-time quick solution and making that more of a habit and with more logins and consistent logins.
Right. Absolutely. And this is one of the places that data becomes really important, that the visibility becomes really important, embedding features across your ecosystem, so that members can see that it's not just an add-on, right? It's not a standalone property sitting over here that I need to go to when I'm only looking for a job. Right. We don't want them to see it as an add-on, but as a core part of their professional journey. We want to make sure that we're speaking to both adoption and engagement when possible. I know a lot of you are in pre-launch or early launch, and so we certainly start with adoption and then move into engagement. But those who are relaunching, or who have an existing established career center, right? It's important to speak both of those messages, to prompt people with some educational tools, tips, but also be reminding people of the long-term value and how it plays into long-term retention in their own personal job, but also within the organization and the industry.
Totally. And that engagement messaging is really about showing members that your career center is a tool that they can use over and over again, whenever they need it. And in the marketing world, we love storytelling, that really kind of drives the message home, in a really authentic way. So whenever possible, like when you're messaging your career center and some of the benefits that it provides, and you're trying to motivate your members to take those actions in the Career Center itself, try and do your best to really, look at your member base and figure out some success stories and utilize storytelling to really amplify your message and make it resonate with your members.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's another, it's another way that the career center becomes a point of visibility for your members, right? If you're highlighting their successes and their stories, not only they got a job, right? That was clearly a success, but the organization recognized it, other members recognized it. And suddenly not only is that driving understanding and visibility for the career center, but it's highlighting a member, showcasing skills and expertise, bringing visibility to the organization. It all plays together.
Yeah, and really the goal is to make it feel like a career companion. So, I mean, we've said it a bunch that we don't want this to be viewed as the Career Center being a one-time stop, but really making it integrated into your members' overall experience is going to make them want to come back for more.
Absolutely. If you can show members, right, that it supports their full journey, and where the value is during those different steps, connecting things like certifications or learning opportunities to the next role that provides, by bringing in, tying community and mentoring together and giving people access to understanding and to networking. It all becomes that much more powerful. They're more likely to come back. They stay connected, and it becomes an even more powerful engagement engine.
Exactly. And so how else can we promote good habits? Using our tools, we'd like to look at them as not just features. These are really opportunities for your members to take action, to engage, to grow, to invest in themselves. And your job as an association is to make sure that these tools are obviously accessible, they're visible, they're comprehensive and connected. So we have a few examples that are up there on the screen. Things like job alerts, maintaining, talent profile and resumes, interview coaching and support, salary information, career guides, mentoring, just to name a few. And I think Josh can kind of dive in a little bit more specific to some of that.
Yeah, I mean, the great thing is they all work together, right? A job alert triggers a visit. A visit leads to a resume update. A resume connects to an employer, right? It all becomes this more deeper, emotionally driven engagement, provided by, again, this sort of ultimately meeting the mission and growing our members, which is really, it's exciting and fun, and it's great to be able to see the impact of the Career Center on the organization, on the member, on the industry, and delivering those personalized needs around belonging and progress and visibility. It really, really it builds trust. It builds authenticity and support and community ultimately. And I think that we all know that associations are really, they're communities. Um, and the more often we acknowledge that, and the more often we leverage that power to drive specific outcomes around, especially around growth and advancement, like we all win.
Exactly. And I think this is a really great time to kind of pause. Josh and I have spoken a lot already, so we're interested to hear from you. How would you describe your current messaging strategy in terms of driving engagement and adoption? So definitely read through the answers. Some of these are meant to be fun. But yeah, we're curious to know, like when you're looking at your engagement, messaging, and overall strategy, are you guys like really crushing it? And you're doing everything that you think that you can, to be able to drive that adoption and engagement? Or maybe you know that you should be doing more, but life and other priorities obviously take precedence. That's definitely a possibility. A career center is oftentimes referred to as a job board, and it definitely is that, but then some. So maybe do a really great job talking about jobs, 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 and more jobs. But maybe we can kind of reposition and reframe our thinking. And or are you just thinking, well, it's on the website, like it's there, so hopefully people are going to engage with it. So I'll give everybody another second or so to respond, but so far we're starting to see some good responses come in.
And if there's any questions or thoughts anyone wants to throw in the chat, feel free.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, so let's see where we're at. Um, Congratulations to a few of you. You're definitely like doing the most and deserve a marketing gold star. You have strategic, integrated, multi-channel outreach happening, and members actually know that's more than a job board. So that's a huge hurdle to overcome. So congratulations to you all. And a lot of you are where I kind of expected. You kind of bring it up every now and then. It's kind of like flossing, you know you should be doing it more, but life and other priorities. And only a few of you are really talking about it as just a job board, which is awesome and refreshing to hear. And I mean, at least one of you has, the link on your website properly. So that's a great starting place. Thank you for all who have participated. And then just as a reminder too, if you have any questions throughout this, feel free to utilize the chat. If you are looking to ask a question anonymously, feel free to take control of the Q&A feature along your toolbar as well and ask us a question. We're not afraid to answer. So thank you all.
Sorry, we're gonna do all right, next on. So let's get into some tactics. We used this approach in the previous webinar, but just sort of a reminder, when we talk about good, better, best, it doesn't mean that good is bad. It's about matching capacity to goals. Not every team has the time or resources for a full rollout. That's totally okay, totally understandable. We have organizations who are small and doing a lot with a little, and we have bigger organizations that have access to more resources and more team members. And so we just want to be able to sort of show you that breadth of opportunity across the board. So we want you to do what you can. It's not about volume, really. It's about consistency and about continual improvement. So
Yeah,
we're excited to
exactly.
sort of walk through some of this. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Josh said it perfectly. Obviously, do what you can with what you have. Each team is different. Even small efforts are going to drive results when they're repeated and relevant. So start somewhere is definitely our message here.
All right. If you joined us for the first session, some of this might sound familiar. That is kind of intentional. We're going to be using some of the same core association channels, website, email, community, events, but really the messaging shifts a little bit depending on the phase, and sort of that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. And in the launch phase, it was really more about awareness and anticipation, which some of you are in that kind of pre-launch and launch phase right now. So that messaging is a little bit different from what you're going to hear about today in regard to adoption engagement. The overall message stays the same, that it is about consistency. You're still going to be reinforcing value and building habits. But really to drive overall adoption and engagement, you're going to be helping members go deeper with the platform over time. And the key takeaway is that we're not reinventing the wheel. We're simply just trying to make sure that it keeps turning by speaking to where your members are in their career journey.
So your website's your home base. If your members can't find your career tools there, they probably won't go looking. So we definitely want to get it visible, visible, visible. We want to get it into our main navigation. We want to utilize leverage unutilized advertising or display space to bring some additional visibility to it. Uh, make sure that there's links, that it is as few clicks as possible.
For sure. And that really goes back into making sure that you're integrating your career center wherever it makes the most sense and is relevant in your website navigation and just your overall like content buckets that are placed on your site. So where appropriate, obviously embed it, surface it, highlight it maybe in dashboards and learning hubs. Credentialing portals are another great place. The overall takeaway for those that are really doing the best are fully embedding that Career Center on the site using, Career Center call to actions as well as widgets. If you can make it relevant to where your members are already visiting and what they're already doing, they're going to engage and they're going to click and learn more or interact with the content that you're providing.
Yeah, absolutely. And on our slide here, there's sort of an adoption and an engagement tactic in each box. So having a banner pushing to explore the career tools, right? That's a little bit more targeted at adoption and getting people to learn and figure things out. Whereas a dedicated career resources page, that's going to be more about building that long-term value and having something that's sort of steady and therefore people to find and link to on a regular basis. So you'll kind of see that throughout some of these examples of tactics as we go.
Yeah, exactly. So when we're looking at our email campaigns, where we're trying to build feature awareness one message at a time, email really works the best when it's short, when it's targeted, and it's value driven. An example of this is like thinking, set up job alerts in 2 minutes, not just a generic check out our platform email or with a subject line and content that's related to looking at the platform. Let's be really targeted and value driven with our communications. Members are more likely to open up an email when that message is really direct and the value is immediate. So try and do that, no matter if you're doing something that's part of our good tactics list, all the way up to our best.
Yeah, absolutely. And always automation it can help with these campaigns. Look for opportunities utilizing tools, automations within the platforms themselves. Some of you may be using things like Zapier or other tools to help automate some of these processes. You want to trigger workflows based on behaviors. You can certainly look at ways to automate that. And then obviously integrating feature highlights like into lifecycle campaigns, onboarding, renewals, right? Renewals is a great place that like reminding somebody who needs to renew that the Career Center is a valuable and an important asset is a great time. Also great in lapsed members, right? We're pulling people back in using that value in the career center. Um, Connecting it to learning programs and the outreach that goes along with them. It really helps to sort of center the career center as a central and continuous benefit, not just sort of a one time like, oh, I'm looking for a job. I'm going to go search now, but I don't really think about it other than that. And another thing and this is sort of one of my normal talking points, but I like to remind people when we're writing our calls to action, a lot of times we have a tendency to speak to our end goals. So things like register for a webinar, right? Like I'm the one trying to drive the registrations. That's not, they don't care about registrations, the members, right? They want to learn something. They want access to an opportunity, right? So let's make sure that when we're positioning our calls to action, especially within emails, but also on websites and other places that we're speaking to the members' goals, not necessarily our goals.
So true, Josh. And I think that messaging and that point is really relevant to social media as well. And it's important to remember that social media isn't just about promotion, it's really about reinforcement. So it's best used as a prospecting and amplification tool. You can kind of consider to use it to normalize the Career Center and its tool. And maybe you can consider spotlighting a different career tool each week. Or you could take it a step further and run a full-fledged campaign to really show the tools in action. By showing the tools in use, it does two things. One is going to definitely lower the learning curve for others to use the tool. And number two, it invites participation. So you're really showing the value of the feature, but you're also using it as a teaching moment to show members how to use the tool so that it's less scary and that they're more likely to adopt and engage with those tools.
Yeah. Awesome. Absolutely. And the other thing to remember is like you don't need like video is great. Again, this is one of those good, better, bad. Like video is great if you can, create some videos, like, bring in some people who are visible within your organization, maybe talk about the benefits. That's all wonderful, but you don't need a fancy production, right? What about just doing a quick 30-second demo during a professional development webinar or at setting up a table at your annual conference where people can manage their profiles and upload their resumes, and sort of starting to bring these pieces in together. Again, not doesn't have to be huge high production value, but if you put it in the right places at the right time, then it drives the same goals. If budget allows, like paid advertising is a great way to help boost visibility of a career center, run retargeting ads. So especially on like low friction entry points, job alerts, career guides, we're seeing a lot of traffic and new entries through career guides and people finding those long tail search words um, and coming in. Uh, a lot of times there's visitors who didn't convert on the first visit. They just need another little nudge. So hitting them with some retargeting ads, matching a feature to their intentions, that really leads to long-term use, long-term satisfaction of the members. And um, again, it comes back to just being where they are, reminding them that it exists, showing them how to use it when possible. Online community. I came from Higher Logic. It's a place close in my heart. I very much see and understand the impact a community has. And so your online community is career adjacent by default. There's a great opportunity here for members to ask about jobs, to talk about jobs, to ask for resume skills, so maybe it's about making a space for them within that community space. So maybe a public career community, which is a great way to take non-members who have found their way into the career center, right? And put them into our digital ecosystem, still maybe as non-members with only access to a very specific, hiring or job seeker or career community, but it gives us a way to better understand those prospects and their needs and to continue to talk to them and to prompt them into membership and for them to get a taste of the benefits that working with a powerful association brings.
Yeah, exactly. And one of my favorite things about a community, is that it's really a place where members can hear from peers, instead of staff. So it really feels real and it feels authentic. So go ahead, like as an association, prompt that discussion, invite the success stories, answer the questions that are being posed in the discussion threads. Members are already coming, to the community for peer support, and it's a really great place to showcase tools without sounding promotional.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then when you're thinking about internal champions, these are members of your staff that are really going to be kind of cheerleaders for the Career Center. So when you're looking at that and you're thinking holistically, supporting member growth obviously isn't just a marketing task. It really is a cross-functional effort. So whether it's your membership team that's really welcoming new joiners, your education team guiding learning paths, or your events team creating those career connections. Every team really has a role in helping members move forward. So it's super important to equip your team with some resources to be able to promote the platform.
Yeah, absolutely. Like help connect the dots internally, show the value, especially across departments. One of the things that in the early days of community was the advice we would give is like go to the marketing department and what do they need? Do they need case studies? Okay, well then let's go utilize the community space and try to surface some case studies, right? So look for ways across the organization where the value is connected, where we can connect those dots, we can show the value, we can help give our internal champions the right words, give them context, and then we all get to own the results, right? And ultimately, when the internal staff understands the tools, they know how they work. They naturally promote it. It comes up in conversation. It becomes an important, content generator, conversation generator, value conversation, right? So we just want to encourage you to leverage your internal champions to build those internal marketing connections and resources as you're doing the external ones, because ultimately internal champions lead to more budget, more buy-in, more executive support, and ultimately that drives more outcomes for the members, right? So that's again connecting all the dots. It really is a very connected ecosystem and set of goals and expectations.
Which, what a perfect segue, Josh.
So yeah, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You already have all these tools. You already are using them. You've got your AMS, you've got your community space, you've got your mobile app, you've got your standard life cycle communications. Um, Utilize these things. Bring the value of careers, the conversation, the emotional connection, the widgets, the RSS feeds, the all the little bits and pieces, and spread them out across these so that people have the opportunity to easily access it and from where they are.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Josh. And in marketing, we're always trying to promote something. And in this case, it's really not just driving traffic to a website landing page. You're actually promoting real progress. So make it feel like part of the overall member experience and really integrate the Career Center and the different tools and resources in your various ecosystem and your full tech stack to really get the most out of your adoption and engagement. You want to link it to everything, and you always want to make sure that it is very visible on your website. If you think that you have to do any form of digging to find what you're looking for, to find the career resources, to find just the overall career center to surface relevant job opportunities. Then if you're struggling to find it, your members are definitely struggling to find it as well. And likely what's happening is they're moving on and they're going to go somewhere that they know that they can find the quick answers to their questions. That could be, a Glassdoor, that could be a LinkedIn or something else. So you just really always want to make sure that everything is really visible on your website and your social media and also prevalent at your events that you're hosting as well.
One of the best examples I've seen of this is we have one customer who sets up a booth with computers at their annual conference, and everybody applying to a job at the annual conference goes through the career center. So at the annual conference, they have this huge spike in resumes, in activity, in understanding, in awareness, in visibility, and that then extends out over for months, for the rest of the year, really, and then boosts again, right? And so those opportunities really shouldn't be missed if possible.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Josh. And really just overall driving the message home that the Career Center is a strategic value. It's not just one of those feel-good benefits. It really is should be a strategic asset that is helping you drive your KPIs, your retention, your revenue, your relevance. And so you really want to make sure that you are giving it the time and the effort and dedication that it deserves to really, promote it the best way that you can to make the Career Center help you as an association as well, and not just your members.
Yeah. Yeah, it really ultimately it strengthens your brand. You're really not you're not just connecting people to jobs. You're advancing the industry, a field, right? The retention built around a career center is retention in keeping your members in the association, but it's also retention in keeping them in the industry and advancing that industry, right? And so that's impactful. And when your members are aligned with your mission and you're sending them out into the workplace, you're moving your mission into the workplace. And that I think is really, really, really the power of the association. And it, to the point of the slide, like it drives more renewals, it drives more revenue, and it drives more impact.
Exactly. And I think this is a great place to kind of just pause for a moment, and give anybody an opportunity to kind of chime in. Maybe, you've done something like that association, who is really featuring and prompting logins, at an annual event, or you are doing something else that you have noticed, significant engagement with your career center that you currently have. We would love to hear it. And if not right now, you can always share, those successes or challenges with us. Josh is always anxious and ready to listen to whatever's going on, in your world. So feel free to kind of send him some time to talk through some of those challenges or successes. We'd love to hear it.
All right, we'll do a quick little. We're close on time here, so we're not going to spend a ton of time recapping things. Um, but this is really just a reminder that like even small steps, like adding career banner, sending one focused email, that stuff does make a difference, and take those steps at the very least.
Yeah, exactly. And if you have more time, doing things like building a short email series, or promoting member stories in your community can really go a long way. In general, when you're looking at our different tactics, whether it's the website channel or email or community and social, good is obviously like doing, one small action. But if you have the time to really add more actions or anything there, that would be a wonderful place to start. And then if you're able to take it a step further, and integrate that, you're obviously going to be doing your best. So
That's awesome. Neurology career. We have in the chat here. Neurology Career Center staff gives away a popular T-shirt at our annual meeting booth to attendees who sign up for a job alert.
love
Great.
that.
That's such a great idea. Love it. Love it. Love it.
So are there brains on that t-shirt? I want to know what the overall design process is and if there's a contest for that. Like I'm very intrigued. So love that
Yeah.
idea of doing a popular t-shirt. That's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, if you're looking at ways to take this further, look at personalizing the profiles or AMS dashboards or automating campaigns or integrating looking at what within your ecosystem can be better integrated. It may have been a long time since you set this thing up and things have changed. So are there changes in our technology that enable us to do more or better or scalable things? So yeah, there's lots of like places to look at what already exists for improvement and to leverage what you're doing as opposed to opening up new efforts.
Agreed, Josh. And really just if there's one thing that you can take away from today's session. It's just pick one of these tactics and get started. Every step is going to help your members see real value with the Career Center, and it's also going to help your association as well. So dive in and pick one of the tactics that we did today or that we shared with you today. And we'd love to hear about it, how it went. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
all right. So, key takeaways from today's session on driving adoption and engagement. Career growth isn't executed in just one campaign. Obviously, it's not going to take just one email. It's an overall mindset. So keep showing members how your platform can help them grow. And I guarantee you that you will start to help your members really build habits with purpose. And that adoption is going to lead to engagement as well.
Absolutely. And ultimately, when your members grow, you grow, the industry is better off. And so, it's an important and crucial role that you all play. And it is super impactful, and that impact matters. And we should look for opportunities to share it.
And we just want to thank you all for spending your time with us today. We encourage you to join us for session 3. It is our last session in the Marketing Masterclass from Launch to Loyalty. Our next session will be happening September 18th from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Feel free to scan the QR code that you see there up on the screen, and we'd really love for you to join us.
And then if you're heading to ASAE and would like to see a demo, we do have the ability to book demos beforehand. So we'd love it if anybody wants to meet up with our crew over there at ASAE and pick up a Watson plushie. Always a favorite giveaway at all the events.
Yes, and no worries if you are a current Web Scribble customer and you joined us today, you will absolutely still get a free Watson. So be sure to stop by booth 744 to just say hi to us, to catch up, to share what's working for you in your career center. We would love to catch up.
Awesome. I think that's it. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate your time, and hopefully you were able to pull out some useful tactics.
Thank you all so much. We'll see you next time.